Scared of hypnosis? Well, you have no need to be. Keep on watching and you'll see Nadine, a client of mine, transform herself from the inside and out, and a way that we've done that is using hypnosis. We looked at moving on from your ex, getting over your ex so you can move on to have a great relationship. So there were two people that she wanted to move on from, an ex from the past and a guy she was dating recently who she had this incredible, intense sexual attraction to. Not that there was any problem with that, but the problem was that she identified having great experiences with him, meaning that it could only be with him, meaning that she could only have a great relationship with this particular guy. And the problem with that was he's a pickup artist and he was seeing other women. She wanted a monogamous relationship, so that wasn't going to work. So in order for her to move on to get the relationship that she wants, she needs to move on both from him and from an ex from the past, because from the past there was a particular emotional situation, an event that was still causing her stress and anxiety. So with hypnosis, we quieten down the conscious mind and talk directly to the subconscious mind where all your emotions are held. Then we could release those emotions from that situation so she could find peace and really let go and move on. So keep on watching and you'll hear Nadine share her experience.
With a guy that I was seeing who felt this intense attraction, this chemistry that I have not felt before ever, and sexual experiences that have just blown my mind, like beyond anything I could have imagined was possible for me, and like I was capable of experiencing. So, it's like a very good time to kind of make some sense of what's going on and explore like why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing, and not to associate it wholly with this guy as the source of these wonderful experiences. The fact that he is a pickup artist and that he is seeing other girls, and that's just something that I'm not willing to kind of continue with him, because what I'm looking for is a relation, like a monogamous relationship. I want to get married, I want to have kids, I want to settle down with someone who loves me and who I love, and like a mature adult grown-up relationship that involves just two people. So that's what I want. So that's not what was available with this guy. So I stepped away from him, but that's not to say that I wasn't having an amazing time, because I was. Like, it was spectacular in sexually. And so these intensive sessions are very much focusing on exploring, wow, I'm capable of having these amazing experiences that I didn't know was possible for me. To a certain degree, this guy that I was seeing has kind of opened the door. He's kind of like, he does play a part in the fact that, in me discovering this having these amazing experiences, but he is not the source of the great feeling, the good feeling. I am, like, it has everything to do with the fact that I've gone through these amazing, like, deep these processes and making changes and like stepping into the unknown and stepping into the uncomfort zone of discomfort and opening Pandora's box and seeing what's in there, and letting things that have been kind of festering away under the surface, letting that come up, shedding some light on stuff that it goes on in your subconscious mind. It's stored in there, and until you have an experience that triggers whatever that is that's stored in there, you won't necessarily know like what goes on behind the conscious mind. With the hypnosis, once you put the conscious mind, you quieten down, you can say, okay, time out, conscious mind, you have a little break, we'll deal with the subconscious mind. This is where all of your experiences in your life have been stored, and this is where like some of the most interesting information is that you can find out about yourself. So what we did today, which was just amazing, was to go back to an event that took place when I was with my ex-boyfriend, and it was something, it was very, it was tough. We went through a tough time together in this particular event, and physically it was hard for me, and I didn't know how to ask him for support, and I kept him at arm's length at the time, and he didn't know how to, I don't want to assume, but I'm just based on how things played out. He didn't, he felt that I was pushing him away. He must have done, because that's what I was doing. I was pushing him out, not wanting to be vulnerable myself, wanting to be like strong and not to be kind of disarmed and torn apart by what was going on. For me to give a voice to my inner feelings, what was really going on for me. You behave one way on the surface, but really what's going on underneath is something else, and to be able to give a voice to the something else is just so liberating, because that stuff deserves to be acknowledged. In order for there to be some kind of healing process, you must be able to acknowledge that a situation was painful for you, and if you ignore that and deny that it was painful, you're kind of like denying yourself the opportunity to really connect with what was really going on. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be deluded about what was going on and how I was feeling, what was really happening for me, and because when I do that, when I get really honest with myself about how I feel, it allows me to become aware of what do I need to be okay, and creates a desire for me to share that with the people that are close to me, because it's important to have support. It's important to feel that loved ones and people around you can give you support, and that can be reciprocated by you, when and this is really defines the quality of your relationships. And so this is just something so incredible, something so amazing that I wasn't able to I didn't know that then, but now I'm learning a new way, and really I want great relationships. That's what I want for myself, and in order to have that, I have to learn how to be a little bit vulnerable, and to be very honest with myself, and to be open, and to ask for help and ask for support. And so just so wonderful to be able to realise that, because I'm at a time in my life when I'm seeking a relationship. I want to be married, I want to have children, I want to have a partner, I want to have a good relationship with somebody, and to make a life together, and just to have that real good bond. That's really what I want for myself. And so what I'm learning in these intensive sessions is how to really embed what I'm learning about myself, so that becomes my new mindset, and the way I was thinking before and behaving and reacting before, that's had its time, and that's a chapter in my life that I want to come to an end, and start a new chapter, and where the things that I prioritise is the quality of the relationship, and to be respectful, and to be sensitive, to myself and how I feel and to what I need and what I think I want, and to feel good and supported and protected and to feel safe and loved, and also to be sensitive to the needs of others. But in order to do that, I first have to know how that feels for me, so that I can, you know, create the empathy. Like, okay, because I know how much I need the support and how much it makes a difference for me to be able to share like a painful experience and to feel that someone, you know, that I create an opportunity for someone to be there for me and to support me. Hence, I can see the value of that when someone in the future opens that channel to me and shares something with me and creates an opportunity for me to be there for them. And this is what I, you know, is what I want the most. The honest, the intimacy of that, you know, the real, the juicy kind of alive connectedness, the organic like connectedness of that. That's what I really want, to be like bonded and in tune, and you know, and that's what I would want as well, like for my, like any future children that I have, you know, to be able to like support them and understand them and empathise with them, and to communicate with them, you know, in inappropriate ways. Very important, very, very important. So wonderful. And so in the session got a chance to re-experience the event that took place between me and my ex. It was a good few years ago. And also to step into his shoes and to imagine in that scenario what might have been going on for him, so that I could give voice to what his experience might have been, you know, creating empathy within me, and also seeing the alternative, seeing it from his perspective, and seeing, okay, you know, it's so easy to be caught up in your version of what's gone on, and to be able to, without anything else, any judgment, any aggression or resentment or anything else attached to it, to just pure and simple step into the shoes of whoever else was there involved in the scenario, and to imagine what might have been going on for them, and how they may have felt, how my behaviour and the way I was reacting may have made them feel, and also just from a new perspective, and just there's more than just what I think, you know, there's many other versions of the thing. So very eye-opening, very liberating, and a good way just to have that experience again, to generate that again, without being there. Obviously you can't turn back time, but really this is as good as, to be able to genuinely in myself find some kind of resolution, and peace, to feel the peace. Now when I remember that, now when that comes back into my mind, it doesn't distress me the same way, and it's interesting now that I'm getting emotional, because at the time I was very emotionally shut down, and I think that as a result of our session today, I've been able to experience the emotions that I didn't get to experience at the time, because I didn't allow myself to. And when you don't let yourself feel the feelings that are coming up for you, and you shut it off, and you like close yourself off to it, they continue to live inside you. You know, so until you allow them to have their moment, and then they can go, and then they don't plague you anymore, you know. But you have to let it come up. You have to let it come up. And I didn't allow that at the time, and now I can. And now I can, you know, I can feel, you know, that weight lifted off my shoulders. You know, I'm going in a good direction, and the deep emotional work and the hypnosis is what is, you know, like the path that I'm on with this, you know, going towards making positive changes and going through like these profound transformational like deep emotional experiences. Just incredible, amazing, really just something else. Very, very, I'm so lucky because I can see the difference it makes in my life, you know, in my everyday life. I can see the differences, the way that I interact with people, the way that I receive information, that I read a situation, the dynamic between myself and other people that are close to me. I see the difference in a big way, because I'm softer, I'm more in touch with my emotions, and I'm more capable of communicating how much people mean to me, which I wasn't able to do in the past. And the what it does to the quality of the relationship is just, you know, something that I couldn't have imagined. I couldn't have imagined that it was possible, but yeah, so it's wonderful, and yeah, so that's that. And yeah, the next session is coming up soon. I've got like a few things to do in the meantime. I got a letter to write to my ex, you know, and I'm just formulating some ideas as to what to say and how to make amends to him for things that I've done that have been hurtful, and I got some films to watch to help me kind of connect more to this like amazing process of you know, like connecting to these wonderful experiences that I've had physically and emotionally, and yeah, so so that's where things are at the moment. And yeah, really looking forward to the next session in a couple of days.
So you've heard how powerful it is doing hypnosis to get over an ex. So if that's you, if you're struggling to move on from an ex, perhaps this is something that you could look at. You could go back to that situation that's still bothering you, that's still affecting you on an emotional level, and look at what the real issue was. Perhaps you didn't say what you needed to say to yourself or to him. Perhaps there's things you're still angry and upset about that you're struggling to let go. But when you go back and look at it, say for example for you at home, you could do some writing and write down what the problem was and how you wish you'd expressed yourself. That way you can gain an understanding, and when you've had understanding you can find much more peace, and you can move on and let go, because you don't want to drag on emotional luggage from your past. You want to let it go, so when a great guy comes into your life, you're able to just be with him and have fun without bringing the emotional baggage from your past. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen today, then subscribe. But for now, I'll wish you well and say goodbye.